Introduction. I think we're live now. Hello everybody and welcome back to Friday Night Magic. We're watching some Modern here at GameSwap Mason, Ohio, brought to you by Top Deck Productions. This is round 4 and we do not yet know what this match is. 2 mystery decks, 2 mystery players. It's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think so. We see some orange sleeves.
Okay.
So it's possible we have a I don't know, a fireball deck of some
white
kind.
and a red. Are they? What are these forms? Are we filling out deck lists?
I don't know. Are they signing their are these like video like media disclosure forms?
Waivers? Yes. Unfortunately, you know, they're not in any danger, so I don't think they need waivers. But we could put them in danger and require a waiver.
Right. Have you ever been to one of those haunted houses where they make you sign a waiver because like the employees like grab you?
Yeah, they could contact you.
Yeah, I think those waivers are more not a safety thing, but more of like a sexual misconduct kind of thing.
Oh, that yeah, that would be unfortunate. Okay, so we have our decks in. Maybe this won't be so exciting as we thought. We got Burn versus Restore Balance. Huh.
Well, yeah, this matchup, honestly, so here's the truth. Burn can shell out a whole lot of damage fairly quickly, but when Restore Balance is able to take their Burn opponent off lands
and discard cards,
that's a big deal. So
that's true.
I'm actually curious to see how this plays out.
We also get to see Verdurous Gearhulk versus some weird alternate version of a card.
Yeah,
Grand Prix Columbus.
Goblins versus mechs versus.
Those are beavers.
Vulture squirrels.
I think those are beavers.
Are they beavers?
Yeah, you can see by the tail, it's long and flappy for
flapping
the water.
They're platypi, dude.
You're correct.
They have duck bills.
You're right. They're not beavers. They don't have teeth.
So we'll see the turn 1 Sacred Foundry Shock for a Goblin Guide. Seems like a good play. Let me just say, I love this new Goblin Guide art.
What is that card?
That's an Idyllic Tutor. Why? Idyllic Tutor and Restore Balance helps you find Blood Moon,
I guess.
But it could also help you find any other number of enchantments, such as Foretold.
That's true. Yep. Yeah, that's actually probably a good reason to play it.
So I'm actually excited already. So yeah, Idyllic Tutor and Restore Balance is not something that's super common. Idyllic Tutor, for those of you who don't know, is a 3-mana sorcery that searches your library for any enchantment. So in Noah's case, it goes to your hand. So in Noah's case, he could get a Blood Moon or a Restore Balance, but he might also have like a Silver Bullet package. We could see a Detention Sphere, something like that. We could see a Cast Out.
Yep. So you know what's interesting? I think that our Burn player, Austin, here is not familiar with what this border post is, meaning he's likely not familiar with this deck.
That's bad news, Bears.
That's
bad news.
So when you're playing against Restore Balance and your opponent cascades into Restore Balance or whatever they're doing, you just get real confused and real sad.
Yeah, if I were Austin, there's a couple ways to play this match here, and I'm not super versed in playing Burn or Restore Balance, and especially not the Burn versus Restore Balance match.
You're not attuned to that?
No, but I wonder if there's a reason for Austin to sort of not play out his lands. But he might not know that.
Yeah, I don't know. But he does have a very good start here. Double Goblin Guide and
Spear. That is a good start.
Oh, he gets the draw.
I wanted to say earlier, I love this new Goblin Guide art.
The jig is up. Okay. Here we get to see Restore Balance.
Don't let him read it. Don't let him read it. Scumbag him. Just put it back. Just put it back.
Put that straight in the hand.
So these Goblin Guides are beautiful. I like. To me, they're like very Lord of the Ringsy.
Yeah, that's true. They look like they're guiding the hobbits to Mordor.
Yeah, exactly. They have like a Dungeons and Dragons. Even if they're not guiding anyone to Mordor, they have sort of an adventuresome feel. But if anyone's played the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, these guys also sort of look like they are dressed in Netch outfits and are driving Silt Striders.
Netch are giant jellyfish.
That's right.
So, assuming Noah doesn't die next turn, which is altogether possible, he might be able to cascade into Restore Balance just in time. He will be at 3 mana, so...
Yeah, so if Austin goes Bolt here, he swings for lethal. But he does not have Bolt. He has 3 2-mana spells and a Lightning Bolt. So but this one's going to be pretty tough.
What is that 4th card in his hand? Is that another land or a Searing something?
So a Searing Blaze, Lightning Bolt, Lightning Helix, and Boros Charm.
Searing Blaze not great. No creatures from Restore Balance as far as I know.
So if Noah does resolve a Restore Balance here, he will go to some number of life around six or less.
Right.
But his opponent will have no lands and could be forced to top deck one or more lands to actually win the game.
Yes. So if he has a Cascade spell here. So the way this Restore Balance deck is constructed, it has no spells of converted mana cost less than 3. So you can cast Cascade spells and be certain that you're going to Cascade into the card Restore Balance, which is of course a very powerful effect that makes your opponent sacrifice permanents equal to to equalize essentially the permanents in play. All right, so it looks like Noah is going to have Restore Balance here. Yep.
Yeah, so he is going to make Austin sack both of his lands. Hopefully Austin fires off one of these 2-mana spells before it resolves. So we'll see if Austin has the wherewithal to make that play. If Austin does not fire off one of these 2-mana spells before he lets his lands get sacked, if he chooses not to float mana, he actually could be in a tough position. He'll be forced to top deck some number of lands to finish out the game.
I don't know how many cards Noah has in hand, but I think Austin is going to have to discard one.
Austin has 4 cards, and I think Noah is down to 2.
It looks like, yeah.
So Austin's going to have to discard 2 cards.
Right.
It's going to be critical if he decides to float mana in response to this Restore Balance. He, of course, can just
cast the spell in response to Restore Balance.
Sure, but he needs to do it essentially right now.
Right. He needs to just cast the spell now. You know, if you're not familiar with playing against Restore Balance, I'm sure it is rather confusing. Okay, thankfully he is going to disboard Charmin. This brings Noah down to 4. But, of course, Austin is going to have no lands, no creatures.
So this is incredibly interesting. By not using the Boros Charm preemptively to get a Prowess trigger, that leaves Noah at 4 instead of 3.
Right.
Now, because Noah's at 4, it's going to take 2 burn spells or at least 2 mana to cast a 1 card for 4 damage. So Noah actually has bought himself considerable time here, depending on what Austin draws.
Oh, okay. Noah has a lot of cards in hand. He had almost 6, so he actually had to discard a few cards there.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that makes sense. He hadn't played much.
Yeah. So no land from Austin yet. And you know, as a burn player, right? You're keeping hands with 1 or 2 lands. You don't want that many, and there's a reason for that.
And the deck is probably only playing 20.
Right. Yeah. You're not gonna have a huge chance of seeing lands. I imagine he'll see another one. Yeah,
well, there's an Arid Mesa and a Goblin Guide, so that's pretty bad news.
Yeah. So this is going to be lethal if he gets to keep his land around, right? He can fetch for a land here, deploy Goblin Guide, and then he'll be able to bolt on his next turn.
Yeah, good top deck for Austin here. This will likely mean he'll have the game stolen.
Yeah, so
we'll have to see.
Noah will either have to cast another Restore Balance or find a way to gain some life somehow. But pretty unlikely he has any way to gain life.
Now, but again, I'm interested by this Idyllic Tutor. Idyllic Tutor could mean any number of enchantments come out here, but at this point in the game, not only can Noah not make white mana with these border posts to cast Idyllic Tutor if he had one, but it'd also be a turn too slow for any answer he would find.
Right.
You know, he could have something like, I don't know.
Aegis of the Gods?
An Aegis of the Gods would actually be, but that's a 2-drop, so you can't get that.
Okay, right. Yeah,
I was going to say Nyx Fleece Ram, but that's also a 2-drop. So we'll see what happens here.
So if he's able to, he's pretty much forced to cast another Restore Balance.
So he did draw the Idyllic Tutor, but I don't think that'll help him.
Yeah, it looks like his hand is double Idyllic Tutor, land, and yeah, that's not going to allow him to cast Restore Balance. So, you know, Noah's at 3. He doesn't know that he's dead to bolts. The Goblin Guide theoretically gives him only 1 more turn, but okay, he's just gonna scoop it up. Yeah, so a little, you know, this matchup is
a very aggressive start from Austin. I think the matchup could be a little better if Austin doesn't have that kind of aggressive creature start, but that was painful for Noah here.
Yeah, the triple creature start.
Do you think that Noah has like Leyline of Sanctity out of the sideboard?
I would hope. It seems good, especially since his deck is, you know, seems more enchantment themed. Because even if he doesn't get it, I mean, in this matchup it'll be pretty slow. But assuming he didn't get in his opener, he does have the potential to search for it.
Yeah. So what's nice about Leyline of Sanctity in this deck is, first of all, it's one of the few. It's one of the few silver bullet types of cards. Like, you know, Noah can't play Stony Silence because it's a 2-drop, and that would preclude him from automatically cascading into Restore Balance. But the ley lines are all 4-drops, but they also provide you with early interaction, with which the deck definitely, you know,
you can't
needs.
You don't really do much.
The deck is desperate for early interaction, and then the ley line also protects his hand against against mid-range decks trying to use hand disruption. And in the burn matchup, that'll save him too. So I expect we find some number of ley lines come in here.
I wonder if Noah has any ways to gain life in a matchup like this.
You know, that's a
I'm
good question.
not really sure what sort of enchantment. It would probably be enchantment based since it's like seems enchantment themed, but
so there are some cards like Jeskai Charm. Gives your creatures +1/+1 and lifelink until end of turn.
So all the Gargadon. That would
so if you could, if you can get one swing off your Gargadon, I suppose that's fine.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. I guess Noah could have maybe an Ojutai's command. I don't know. I've seen these Restore Balance decks run a lot of gimmicky.
Right. It's
multicolored.
It's
cards.
difficult to construct a Restore Balance deck because, like we said, you can't play any spells with a converted mana cost less than 3. Or else you have the chance of not hitting Restore Balance off your Cascade. So it makes them have some very odd and unusual card choices, but also just limits their card choices as well. So
you know what I would love to see Noah search for with one of these Idyllic Tutors is a Courser of Kruphix.
Sure.
Courser of Kruphix is a good 3-drop. Right. It's a good grindy card. It'll gain him some life in this matchup. Unfortunately, I guess you don't have the lands. Right, you don't have a ton of landfall triggers.
Although you can, you can pick up lands with your border post.
Sure, that's true. That's a good point.
But running an enchantment creature also has a risk because then your Restore Balance isn't quite as good.
Yeah, I'd be curious to find out what Noah has in his sideboard here, but I think Leyline of Sanctity. If I were playing the deck, I think that'd be a no-brainer.
Yeah, that seems pretty good.
And what do you think Austin wants to do? I don't know. I don't know if Austin quite knows what he wants to side in here.
I don't think Red White Burn has many ways to interact with Restore Balance.
I think you want your Destructive Revelries for the.
Sure, you can kill the border post.
Yeah, not only for the border post, but for some of the gimmicky enchantments you might see.
Right.
Could take out a Blood Moon if
Maybe he has Wear Tear or something like that.
Yeah, could have Wear Tear. But I think that's all you really need.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got Smash to Smithereens. That would be a beating.
It's just basically worse Destructive Revelry, but sure.
Well, it's if this Restore Balance deck puts you on one land,
that's true.
Smash to Smithereens becomes really it's just too efficient. It's 1 more damage, 1 less mana.
No, Smash to Smithereens costs 1 and a red.
No, it's not. Smash to Smithereens is just 1 red.
You're thinking of a different card. Smash to Smithereens is 1 colorless, 1 red. Destroy an artifact, deal 3 damage to that artifact's controller.
That's not right. Smash to Smithereens is, I believe, is a solid red mana.
Are you thinking of Shattering Spree, maybe?
You might be right about. Okay, I'm looking it up on my phone. Nope, Mario is correct. Everyone, I apologize.
I used to run Smash to Smithereens in Standard when it was legal.
I've never run Smash to Smithereens. I just hate it. So
okay. So it looks like Noah does not have a Leyline to start. Oh. Well, he's gonna mulligan to 6, so maybe he's going for another chance. And that's the thing you can do. If he aggressively mulligans into a Leyline and has a keepable hand, that is obviously a huge advantage for him. But there is the chance that even with a Leyline, he just gets run over by Austin's creatures, so he's got to keep that in mind.
I really like the way that these players' sleeves, their card slips, they match their play mats. They sort of,
Yeah, and in Austin's case, we got red for burn. That's a classic.
Classic, yep. And the Vertiger's Gearhulk, even though you'd think it would be a green play mat, is actually very red. I don't know if it actually looks like that in person.
There's a nice amount of copper in there.
Yeah, but the copper really brings out these red slips.
I didn't notice this until now, but the Vertiger's Gearhulk just has a tree growing out of his chest.
Oh well, duh. He's like one of those fancy. He's like one of those fancy French, skyscrapers that has the living walls that help their employees breathe. Thank God we don't have those in the U.S.
Oof. Noah's taking a mulligan to 5, so I have to wonder if he's just trying to mulligan into a Leyline here. His hands may have been bad as well. Like I saw he had maybe only 1 land and then a Restore Balance in hand, which you don't really want. But this is not great.
But again, this Restore Balance deck, when it takes mulligans, it's really just emptying its own hand.
That's
if
true.
you can resolve a Restore Balance, you can make your opponent discard 4 cards.
Sure.
And that's not bad. I wonder if Noah is playing some of the high-value Planeswalkers that these Restore Balance decks run.
Yeah, sometimes they
we often see Nahiri. We often see Kiora, the Crashing Wave.
Narset, sometimes I see.
I've seen Narset. I've seen Ajani Vengeance. Ajani Vengeance is very good in this burn matchup. It's good if you just hardcast it for 4, tap down a land or Lightning Helix something.
Sure.
But if you resolve a Restore Balance and then you have the Ajani, that Ajani tapping your opponent's 0 or 1 land, very powerful. And then you can threaten any number of Lightning Helix. Helices, I should say.
Right.
Helices is definitely the plural of
definitely
helix.
Noah did keep his 5, but his hand did not look great. He had this land to fetch. He could suspend Gargadon, but I don't really think he had any border posts or anything else going on. So when you're the Restore Balance deck, you don't need a lot to get going, but if you don't have the thing to get going, your deck basically just does nothing. So interestingly, I see that Austin brought in Stony Silence out of his sideboard. That makes sense as it does prevent the border post from tapping for mana. So a good sideboard option there.
Yeah, that's interesting because I play some Naya mid-range in Modern, and I would always bring in Stony Silence against Restore Balance. I'm not sure the burn deck really wants it.
Yeah, that's true. You probably want to be doing.
I think you just want to play a 2-drop and try to kill him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, I guess it's still fine, but. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the Stony Silence coming in. I guess it's better on the draw than it is on the play. I would definitely want to take it out if I were on the play.
Okay. So Austin looks like he can lead with another Goblin Guide. Get in for 2. And Noah has a border post on top.
Unfortunately, even though that border post is going to do the same thing as a land, it is not going to go into Noah's hand.
That is true. That is unfortunate. You know, this is an interesting kind of side note. So, as the burn player, you don't really even care to know what your opponent's doing, right? Like Austin doesn't really recognize any of the cards that Noah's playing, but it doesn't really affect him because he's not really at any of a disadvantage because he knows what his deck's doing and he's able to execute that. So,
yeah, that's a big advantage to playing these sort of linear strategies.
So. Noah did have 2 border posts there, so he has the potential again to cast a Restore Balance next turn, and Austin not really having any wherewithal here, just running everything out.
These creature decks.
I mean, this won in the game last game, so
these creature draws are really big for Austin here.
Sure.
I think that's what he needs to get the damage in early.
Right, and I don't think I saw a Cascade card in Noah's hand. He has an Idyllic Tutor. So I guess Idyllic Tutor is able to cascade for is able to tutor for a Cascade card because one of the Cascade cards is an enchantment.
Oh sure, Ardent Plea.
Ardent Plea, right?
Yeah.
So if he's able to survive 2 more turns, which seems exceedingly unlikely, he might be able to get his Restore Balance off. But other than that, he's gonna try to need to top deck a Cascade spell here, and even that, after taking at least 5 here, it's gonna be difficult.
By the way, I wanted to mention this earlier. I think one of Noah's Idyllic Tutors is a foil.
I think they all are.
Oh, that is beautiful.
I think almost all the cards in his deck are foil.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, geez.
Whew. Getting some serious value from Goblin Guide here, drawing 2 lands.
Foil Idyllic Tutors are quite the chase.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
Oof. There's a Tarka's Command. Is this that's 3, 6, 7, 8, and 3. Yeah, so Noah drops
11 to 2.
2.
Whew. A Tarka's Command.
That's it. All right.
Yeah, I think this is a tough matchup.
Yeah, Noah had 4 lands and an Idyllic Tutor in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, this matchup definitely not great for the Restore Balance deck.
I kind of want to ask Noah if he had the ley lines in there somewhere.
That's true.
But
yeah,
who knows?
With that aggressive mulliganing, I would hope, but maybe he just had really bad hands. You never know. So, Burn taking a sizable victory over Restore Balance here. Obviously, a pretty one-sided matchup. Restore Balance not doing much to stop what Burn's doing, other than trying to rush to a Restore Balance, which oftentimes just isn't fast enough. So a very quick round 4 here. We've still got about 30 minutes on the game clock, but we will be back after that for the last round, round 5. Thanks for joining us here.
Yeah, and we'll see if we can locate an Elves player as requested in chat. But if not, we'll bring you some sort of exciting match for round 5.
All right. Stay tuned.
Tech edge you twice. Oh, it was